Welcome to the Angel Mystic podcast, where spiritually open minds come together to explore the wonders of angels, spiritual connections, and the art of manifesting, plus weekly angelic insights as I pull cards for the week ahead. Hosted by me, Amanda Tooke, the Angel Mystic, your spiritual midwife, to help you on your journey to a fulfilling and happy life, as seen on ITV, Channel 4, and writer for Fate and Fortune magazine. My hope is this podcast is your go-to resource for navigating life with more ease and flow. Whether you're a beginner on the spiritual path or a seasoned practitioner, join us as we unlock the secrets of connection and harness the power of manifestation to create the life you desire. Please rate, review, share and subscribe each episode as we embark on the Angel Mystic podcast. And don't forget to head over to show notes to find all the useful links to many free, amazing resources. Now let's delve in. Hi, and welcome back to the Angel Mystic podcast. This podcast is called You Can Manifest the Impossible, which is great news because how often do we feel like manifesting feels impossible? So let's just get stuck in, shall we? It's a really bright, sunny day here as I'm recording, so my eyes are watering. I feel like I'm being dazzled, but I am not complaining about the sunshine. So when we are manifesting, and I think this is really important to talk about, is manifesting the impossible. Because when we feel like what we want, because let's get it clear, it's easy to manifest the parking spaces. And I often encourage people to start with manifesting parking spaces. But sometimes it's hard to manifest the car to go in the parking space. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes when we want things, it can feel impossible. But we can manifest the impossible. I have manifested so many impossible things. And by impossible, it meant that to me, it felt like it was impossible when I was creating those desires and launching them into the universe. And there may be part of you that's thinking, I don't think you understand my situation, Amanda. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I want. My dreams feel impossible. And I get that because sometimes my dreams feel impossible too. But I know they can be possible. And there's many things, like I say, that I've thought, oh my goodness, I'll never manifest that. Never ever manifest that. I mean, I was writing in my newsletter the other week, and I was, because I've just got a brand new grandson, and he's gorgeous, and it just makes you very reflective and think about things and how my life has changed and evolved and the things I've seen and experienced. And never in a million years did I think that this, which is my hobby, would be my full-time career. Never did I think that I would be writing books. Never did I think would I have been on TV. Never did I think I would have manifested a free cruise, hot tubs, Range Rovers, houses. None of those things. Everything can feel impossible at times. And as long as it stays feeling impossible, it's never going to manifest. So if you are feeling that right now, if you're feeling like, I just do not know how, one thing I want to tell you is how something comes to you is not your job. That is the job of the universe. Those things that have felt impossible to me, I have had to find a way through that. Things that have made no logical sense. And if I just kept looking at that'll never happen, never would have manifested. Never. Now, if you are thinking right now, well, I never manifest anything big. I never manifest what other people manifest. That is your belief system that is not working for you right now. And it's leaving you blocked and it's leaving you stuck. And on the 22nd of June, we've got Manifesting Unblocked starting. So you will be able to join us and you'll be able to work on your blocks. But for now, let's talk about the stories that we tell ourselves. Let's think how often we're telling ourselves those stories, enforcing them into our belief system. Because you have a desire and then you immediately think of a reason why you can't have it. Oh, I'd love a better relationship, but all the good ones are taken. I'd love more money, but the economy's terrible right now. I want my business to do better, but nobody's got any money to spend. Or there's already other people doing that. I'd love to move house, but I can't afford it. I'd love to write a book, but no one would read it. And we do this all the time. We have these little loops in our brain telling us that what we want is not possible. So as soon as we birth that desire, as soon as we give that thought some energy, as soon as we start thinking about what it is that we want, we then instantly build a wall around it. And that wall is made up of our fears. It's made up of our limiting beliefs. It's made up of our past experiences. And these are all the reasons why what we want can't happen. And then we wonder why we don't manifest what it is that we want, why that manifestation never arrives in our reality. And this is why we are blocked. And just because you can't see the path forward, you're holding yourself in that place of being stuck. One of the biggest things that I've learned with manifesting is that just because I can't see the path doesn't mean there isn't one. And this is where we often leave ourselves stuck, isn't it? Because we're thinking, well, I don't know how this could happen. Or we fall into the trap of thinking, well, for me to have this, I need to win the lottery. And that's not how manifestation works. If you knew how every single manifestation was going to happen, there wouldn't be any need for having faith and trust. And that's what we need. We need faith and we need trust. And that gives then room for miracles. And all of my manifestations that are big have happened in the most incredible way. Things that I could never have thought of. So think about something wonderful that happened for you unexpectedly in your life. Maybe it was meeting someone, maybe it was an opportunity, maybe it was a new client, maybe it was money arriving exactly at the right moment. Could you have planned that? Probably not. Life has a way of surprising us. I can remember, and we're going back some now, but when I met my husband, the night that I went out on a night out, never did I think that was a night I was going to meet person that I was going to be married to. Life does surprise us. The universe is always working out routes that we could never have imagined because the universe sees more than we do. And the problem is we spend so much time trying to figure out the how. We want to know exactly what's happening because we're quite controlling, aren't we? We want it all mapped out. We want guarantees. We want certainty. But the universe has so many possibilities that we can't even comprehend. It can see the people that you haven't met yet. It can see the opportunities that haven't appeared yet. It can see the solutions that haven't crossed your path yet. Your job isn't to figure out every single step. Your job is just to stay in receiving mode, open to receive. And this is why our current situation, the life that you're in right now, doesn't actually matter. Because we often use our current situation, what's going for us, our circumstances, to predict our future. You look at your bank account and you think you're always going to be in that place that you're at with it now. And if that is not the place where you want it to be, this is why you stay stuck. You look at your bank account and it maybe hasn't got as much money in it as you want, or maybe it's even overdrawn. When you're over, as I always used to call it when I was dealing with my debt problems. And you look at your relationship status and you think you're always going to be in that same one. Everything can change. We're so good at looking at what isn't working. And then from that, we decide what's possible. So that minus bank account, that single status, and you think, that's it. This is where I'm at. It's never going to change because you can't see a way out. There is nothing more liberating and freeing when you get rid of that. When you start realizing this is just where I'm at right now. This is not my future. Your current circumstance is not your future. I have worked with people who thought they would never find love, and I've gone to their weddings. I've worked with people that have thought, I'll never get out of debt, and they have. I've worked with people that have thought, I haven't got the confidence to start a business, but now they have a successful one. I've worked with people that feel completely stuck, and I know what it feels like because I've been there too. But their lives and my life has changed, and yours can too. Not because somebody waved a magic wand, not because their circumstances magically transformed overnight or they won the lottery, because they stopped focusing on what was going on in the now and started focusing on possibilities and what could be. If you are in the now, and the now is where the power is, the now is the vibration that you are giving out, that the universe is matching against, and you're just focusing on the reality of what you've got, you're going to get more of the same. Something has to change. Manifesting isn't about sitting on the sofa and just wishing. It's about being energetically available for what you want. It's about believing in your manifestation before you see evidence of it. And that requires trust, because you need to trust and believe before you have proof. You need to follow your intuition. You need to take inspired action. And if you do that, you're going to manifest very different realities. And manifesting the impossible becomes possible. So don't let today's reality divine tomorrow's possibilities. When you become available for more, you're going to start noticing different opportunities. You're going to start feeling, hearing, seeing your guidance. You're going to start making different decisions. And that's when it all starts to come together. That's when it starts to shift and change. So let me ask you a question, one that I often ask my clients. Have you decided already it is impossible? And what is it that is impossible? What have you decided that is impossible? Because there is a difference between what is impossible and what have you decided is impossible. Some things are impossible. Some things, are just impossible. Going the moon on Sunday afternoon is impossible. But having a different relationship, a different job, more money in your bank is not impossible unless you've decided that. There is a difference between what is impossible and what have you decided is impossible. If you've decided you'll never have enough money, you'll never meet the right partner, you are too old to do whatever it is, or too young, or too inexperienced, or too late, or too damaged, or too far behind, those are stories. And do you want to keep telling yourself those stories? Because they're going to leave you stuck. The impossible is often just the unseen, where we haven't got the foresight of what is really possible. And just to give you a different take on this, think about the things that were once impossible that are now possible. Think about flying, like the first aeroplane. How impossible does that seem that we can fly? How impossible does it seem that we can pick up the phone and speak to anyone anywhere in the world? That we're carrying these little computers in our pockets. Countless things were once impossible until somebody made them possible. And the same applies to your dreams. Everything exists as a possibility before it becomes a reality. Every manifestation starts as an idea, as a desire, as a vision, as a hope, before it becomes something tangible, physical. So imagine there is something that you want for a moment, and I'm sure there's lots. Imagine the thing that you want is the most important thing, and it is making its way towards you. It's just coming across the universe, making its way towards you. You can't see it yet. You don't know how it's going to arrive. You don't know what's going to be involved. You don't know what route it's going to take to get to you, but it's moving. It's getting closer to you. If every manifestation that you want you thought of like that, how differently would you feel? How differently would you think? How differently would you show up every day? Because that's the energy of manifestation. It's trust. It's not control. It's faith. It's not forcing. It's just allowing. So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. We are going to do angelic insights as well, but think about this as a challenge. Take out a piece of paper, write down something you've convinced yourself is mission impossible. And then ask yourself, what if it isn't? What if it isn't impossible? What if I've simply been focusing on all the reasons I can't have it? I can't allow it to happen. What if I become more available for it? What if I allow myself to believe? And sit with those questions because they have the power to change everything. Now let's do angelic insights. And this is going to be for 22nd to 28th of June. And 22nd of June is when Manifesting Unblocked is starting. So if you haven't signed up, make sure you head to the show notes, grab your free place, come and join this training. We're doing more about this that we're talking about today. So what do we need to know for this coming week? Oh my goodness. You can't make these cards up. I've been doing readings most of my life in some very bizarre places as well, let me tell you. But the cards never cease to amaze me. Never cease to amaze me. The first card out for Monday is the manifesting card. So those dreams, those desires that you want, it's showing you can manifest them. You absolutely can manifest them. Start by writing them down. It's always more, concrete it in a way. Write them down and know that they're possible. Tuesday, use your angels for support. When was the last time you asked your angels to help you? Remember, they can't help you unless you ask. So start asking for the help that you need today. Wednesday, we've got a decision. Always, they say follow your heart with decisions, but actually, I want you to follow your intuition. Follow the inner guidance that you are getting. Don't be, I don't know what to do. That's very draining energy. You just need to say, do you know what? I'm making a decision. I'm going with it. And remember, there is no wrong decisions. This is what the angels say. There's no wrong decisions in life. You either get what you think you're going to get or you get what you need in terms of lessons and learnings. Thursday, forgiving. And I think this is about forgiving yourself. Giving yourself a little bit like, oh, do you know what? I'm not going to be so mean on myself. Look out for rainbows as one of your signs. Look out for little white feathers as well. As we move into Friday, it's the yes card. What do you need to say yes to so those manifestations can come in? Is it saying yes to an opportunity? Is it saying yes to going to an event? Also look out for messages within music because that is one of the ways the angels are communicating with you. Saturday, new life, but let's call this new start because all those things, those desires that you want are coming so close to you right now. You are preparing to start your new version, your new chapter in your life. And Gabriel comes in on Sunday. Gabriel is the archangel that always gives us lots of ideas, and it's really important to follow those ideas. Those little light bulb moments, those little downloads, follow them to the letter, and they will lead you to your manifestations. That's our cards for this week. Here's a final thought that I want to leave you with. I would love to know how you go on with those questions, by the way, so please type it in the comments and let me know. But I think some of the most incredible things in your future that may look impossible today is not because they can't happen. It's because you haven't seen the path forward yet. And that's okay. That is okay. You don't need to know the entire journey. You just need to take the next step. So trust your angels, trust your intuition, trust the universe. Make sure you're on my free training, Manifesting Unblocked. You'll find it in show notes, and I'll see you back next time. Bye for now. I hope you've enjoyed this episode and got value from it. If so, please rate, review, subscribe, and share it with your friends. It really does help in more ways than you realise. You can find out more good stuff between episodes. Just search The Angel Mystic on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You'll find me there. And I would love to connect with you more over in my free group on Facebook. Check out all the links in the show notes.